Hi folks, it's Virtual Nunchucks. I hope you're having a great day. Today for me is Wednesday, and I just recently got finished watching, or last night sometime, got finished watching Ubisoft's E3 press conference, and I thought I would give you my thoughts on what I saw. They always tend to do a pre-conference where they get all the little announcements out of the way and meet some of the developers and stuff, and that's okay. But I have to say that it was a little cringy in spots, especially the developers of Trials. What is that? Trials. What's the name of that? Trials Rising. The developers of Trials Rising. Now, I respect their talent. I think that if you like those games, that's fine. But their acting skills leave something to be desired, and their jokes fell a little flat. But they announced in the middle of that little pre-press conference thing, they announced that Trials Rising Season 2 will be out now. So if you have that game and you want to be involved in Season 2 and all of the content there, you have access to that now. During that, they also announced that AC Odyssey, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, or Orchestra Tour, actually it's the Assassin's Creed Orchestra Tour. It's music that throughout all the games has been rewritten and composed for orchestras and stuff, and they're doing a bunch of tour dates where you can go live and hear the music from the various games of the series. Personally, I, as a musician, thought that was completely awesome because they played some of that at the beginning of their press conference proper. And to be honest with you, I found that completely awesome because, to be honest, the music composers of games, they set the mood for you a lot of times and you don't even realize it. So I thought that was neat. But again, they announced that they were going to do that during the pre-conference, and then the conference proper, they played a couple of, I guess, pieces from that, and then put the tour dates up on the big screen in the theater. So that's pretty neat. London. I think they're even coming over here to the United States at some point in time. Not sure exactly where, but London, a bunch of Europe dates and stuff like that. So it's really cool, and I'm kind of glad that they're doing that because, like I said, game composers need to get some credit too. And to be honest with you, that's some of the most sweeping music in a game is that series. So that was kind of cool for me, but. They also announced AC Odyssey creator mode, where you can basically create your own game. Now this they should have probably put, first. Should have been one of the first things they announced, but they waited almost until the press conference proper was about to start to drop it. This is part of the reason they were not doing an Assassin's Creed game this year, because what they're doing is they're giving you the option to take any of the characters, main characters, side characters, random characters, whatever, any of the characters from the game, and basically taking the dialogue options and some of the locations and stuff, and you can make your own stories. You can have your own narrative going, and you decide how that plays out, and then you can go back in and you can play it, and it basically plays like the game. I thought that personally was really, really awesome. The idea that you can go in and kind of see how the game itself works, and you can manipulate the game software to the point where you can make your own stories with your own hero or whatever. That, to me, sounds really neat. That update should be available, I believe they said, either sometime this summer or early September. I can't remember exactly, but I thought that was really, really awesome. And forgive me again, because I was typing as I was watching, so I was kind of trying to catch it all. But it's kind of hard to do, and so forgive me if I don't miss if I don't get the dates just right. But they also announced that the Discovery Tour is coming to Assassin's Creed Odyssey again, just like they did with Assassin's Creed Origins. They're going to go ahead and give you like a virtual tour of Greece, give you some historical information about the different locations and stuff like that, and you actually can be led around this time by King Leonidas of Sparta, and this time it's fully voiced. Oh, by the way, coming back to that game creator or that creator mode or whatever they call it, all the lines are fully voiced, and all of the graphics and everything are pre-rendered as well, so you will have cutscenes and stuff like that. And the reason I brought that up is because during the discovery mode this time around, you will have more of an educational feel to it, in that they will have pre-rendered cutscenes in certain things to show what they're talking about. Like, for example, they were talking about, in the particular presentation, they were talking about how Spartan children are brought up from a very young age to whatever, and they show in that particular presentation a fully rendered cutscene of the boys and the girls being trained as fighters, warriors, or whatever they're trained to do. So I thought that was pretty neat. That's why I brought that up. So they announced that the Discovery Tour, if you're interested in stuff like that, which for Origins I think that's totally awesome. I do like ancient Greece as well, so I don't know, I might check that out. I don't know. But I think it's cool that they're allowing it in schools and stuff like that to help supplement education, so I think that's neat. They said that it will be available fall 2019, so September, October, somewhere around there. Okay. But when the press conference proper got started, after the the little orchestra performance and everything, one of the biggest games that jumped out to me was Watch Dogs 3. Okay, and here's why. I have played Watch Dogs 1. I skipped Watch Dogs 2, although people tell me I shouldn't have. But there are a couple of reasons I was not interested in seeing what Watch Dogs 2 had to offer, especially after I played Watch Dogs 1. Don't get me wrong, the mechanics were awesome in Watch Dogs 1, but the story kind of fell flat for me, so I didn't know if I wanted to pick this up. But Watch Dogs 3 kind of sort of struck my fancy a little bit and has me intrigued, because you get to play as any character on the street. There's no real main character. You can recruit whomever you find if they have special abilities. For example, in the trailer and the gameplay footage they showed a enforcer class, or I guess you could say an enforcer type, where their ability is being able to be totally awesome with weapons. Okay, silenced weapons, knives, it doesn't matter. They're pretty much in your face, beat you up kind of guys. The other person that they showed in the trailer is a robotics expert, so they use robot gadgets and different things. They showed a spy being recruited, so you can infiltrate different things without having to worry about hacking so much, but you can hack as well, because that's what Watch Dogs does. The basic premise is that you can recruit anybody on the street. You can play as those people. They have each person is fully voiced, fully rendered. They have their own backstories. You can learn about those characters. You can experience life through those characters and help DedSec take down CTOS in London. And that was another thing. It's set in London, which is completely awesome. And one of my favorite characters was, I want to call her Grandma. I know that's not exactly right. I can't remember what her... Helen. Yeah, that's right. Helen. Helen is an old lady. When you first meet Helen, she's asleep on a bench in a park. She had been feeding the birds, and she's kind of dozing off, and her phone goes off, and it rings, and she says, well, this better be good. Okay. And then it goes over a voiceover and says, the most lethal of us all. And it says Helen. And it gives you a little thing that says assassin. And you're like, wait, Grandma's an assassin? And it basically shows her with a taser and a pistol of some kind and like a tack mask, walk up behind a guy and just wipe him out. I mean, it's insane. So the idea that you can actually learn about these characters on the street, just random characters, and recruit them to take down DedSec, to me is intriguing. They actually showed something that's very important. They were trying to recruit a drone expert, and they were trying to get to him and rescue him, but something happened, and some gangsters took him away. And Ian, which is the guy you first meet in the trailer, is trying to rescue him. Well, he actually dies. And when a character dies in this game, it is a permadeath. So that character will not return in your playthrough. If you kill a character, they're gone, and you have to recruit someone else. And hopefully continue the narrative that way. So I found that very, very interesting. They showed off Naomi, which is the enforcer person I was telling you about. She basically, anything you want with weapons, she can pretty much walk in and blow everybody away, and she's pretty in your face, and that's okay. That's pretty neat. The release date for that game is March 6th of next year, so we're looking at an early 2020 release. I'm going to keep an eye on this one because I'm really, really excited about it. It kind of renewed my interest in Watch Dogs, so I'm kind of hoping that they don't let us down by promising the moon and then not being able to deliver. Even if they deliver on half of that, that's awesome. So I'm kind of hoping that that's the case. Let's see. Something that I was not. I was very, very. I was very taken aback by. I know that Ubisoft, or Ubisoft, however you pronounce their company name, is very diverse. It has a music side of the company. It has comic books. It has movie side of the company, and it has all these different branches. I understand that, but the one that jumped out at me is apparently they're going to do a gaming show called Mythic Quest for Apple TV. It's a comedy, but they're going to do it basically go behind the scenes of developing a game, and they're going to basically show what developing a game is like from the Office standpoint. And it's going to be a comedy, and you're going to have characters interacting with the boss and everything like that. I don't know that had a place for E3, but I guess if you're going to be a show about gaming, and you want to reach your biggest core audience, that being gamers, I think maybe that might be a good place to do it, but it kind of felt odd to me. Doesn't mean I don't want to see the show or have any interest in the show. It just felt a little off and a little odd. And I was a little confused by it, but at the same time kind of thought it was funny, the clips that we saw. So, take what you will from it. It's called Mythic Quest, and it will be coming to Apple TV. So if you have access to that, you can take a look at that and see if you're interested in it. They did announce that Rainbow Six esports team season 4 is starting very, very soon. They directed us to a website to check that out. So if you want to go to the Rainbow Six esports team and check out season 4, it will be starting soon. They announced Adventure Time Brawlhalla add-on. So basically all the characters from Adventure Time are going to be in Brawlhalla. I'm not really interested in Brawlhalla. I'm not really interested in Adventure Time. I kind of find Adventure Time to be a little ludicrous, but that's just me. Maybe I'm getting too old. But everybody, there's a lot of people that like it, so if that interests you, check that out. It's apparently available now. As a Tom Clancy fan, as a Tom Clancy book fan first, and then of course with the Splinter Cell and Ghost Recon and stuff like that, and Rainbow Six gaming, I was very interested to learn that they're doing another Ghost Recon. They're calling it Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Right now, they do not have a release date, but they did show off some information about it. There was the main, I guess you'd call it the main bad guy. His name is Cole Walker, and he leads a character or army called the Wolves that are former ghosts. So that has potential to be really, really, really awesome. I'm kind of hoping that Ghost Recon gets back to its roots and has a little bit of intrigue to it. So I'm looking at that. I'm going to be watching that real close. But what they announced was that that starting on October. On September 5th, there will be a open beta registration for Ghost Recon Delta Company, because they're going to do an expansion to, I guess, Ghost Recon Wildlands, and they're going to have an open beta on September the 5th for that. They also announced a mobile game called Elite Squad. You can pre-register for that. They showed off basically all the big names like Tom Clancy, from the Tom Clancy brand, from Nomad, from Ghost Recon, to Sam Fisher from Splinter Cell, and it's basically a mobile game. I don't really have any information about it. It was shown off as a little bit cartoony, so I'll have to check that out. But they announced it, and you can take a look at it and pre-register for it if you decide you want to play it. They did not even announce if it was going to be free to play or if it was a paid game. They did not announce any real details. They just showed off a trailer for it. Something that I really don't. I know it's a big, huge fan base, and please don't get me wrong. They announced Just Dance 2020 coming out this November. Including for the new Google platform Stadia, or however they pronounce that, which is kind of cool. I mean, it's been around for 10 years, and they made a big deal out of it being around for 10 years and all the world records that people have and everything else. But it's just a game that does not appeal to me, but I know it's a very, very large fan base. So if you're into that, they did announce a release date for November of this year, so keep an eye out for that. For Honor is getting a limited time event from now until the 27th of June, and it's in there. It has to do with, and I don't even know if I typed this correctly. I can't even read it. That's why I'm hesitating. Spirit of Hikori, I think is how they pronounce it. I'm not real sure. Please, oh please, oh please, do not butcher me for that. They announced Rainbow Six Quarantine for 2020. It has co-op PvP. You can play together, and also they said that it has to do with some kind of parasite. You can be infected with parasites and things like that, but again, they didn't give a whole lot of information because it's coming sometime next year, but the release date has yet to be determined. They were kind of just announcing it. The Division 2's next few episodes are coming very, very soon. The first one is to drop let's see, Episode 2, The Pentagon, is set to drop. I'm getting ahead of myself. They announced it's free to play until the 16th. So if you haven't played it, you can play it from now until the 16th of June for free. You can download it and play it. Episode 1 for Season 2 or Year 2 is going to be released this July. It's set in the National Zoo, and you are going to be trying to track down terrorists and stop a very, very bad group of people. Typical Division stuff. They're also going to have you go to Kenley College as well. This fall, episode 2, which brings you to the Pentagon, is going to come out. And you basically have to rescue some secure servers and files and stuff from very, very bad people. They also announced that they're doing a second raid, or raid number 2 is coming this fall, along with episode 3, sometime late fall or early next year. They're working on a Netflix Division movie. So Netflix and Ubisoft and the folks behind Division have teamed up to do a Division movie. I'm kind of curious how that's going to play out, because if we know anything about video game movies, they tend not to do well. For example, Assassin's Creed. Now, don't get me wrong. I am an Assassin's Creed fan. I love that series. Always have. But somehow or another, games do not translate into movies as well as they probably should. Or maybe they just don't meet our expectations because we played it and it's not like we played it. It's written differently. So I'm kind of hoping that it works out. I have a Netflix subscription, so that's not going to be an issue. I can probably check it out, but I'm kind of hoping that it's a good one. I want it to be good because I like, the Tom Clancy brand. I like the idea behind it. They've always tried to shoot for realism, so I want it to succeed. Uplay. Somebody else came out and they announced Uplay Plus subscriptions for PC starting in September for $14.99 a month. And basically what that is classic games like Prince of Persia, the different ones way in the Wayback Machine will be available to you to download and play for $14.99 a month. Plus, they're going to bring the newer games, the new releases up, like Division 2 and the ones they announced on the floor that are coming out, like Watch Dogs 3 and stuff like that. So that's something to keep an eye out for. Personally, I don't play on PC much, so that doesn't mean a whole lot to me, but for you PC gamers out there, and if you're into that kind of stuff and you're a really big fan of Ubisoft and the stuff that they put out, you can go back and play some of the classic games again, but you have to pay a monthly subscription to do that. It's kind of like, reminds me of PlayStation Now and Xbox Game Pass and all that kind of stuff. So that's an option for you guys. I don't know anything about this, but from June 10th to the 14th, you can play Roller Champions demo. I think that was supposed to be for the E3 crowd that was there. It may even be online. I'll have to check that out for you guys. But it's a new game, Roller Champions, and basically it looks like roller derby, and they do all kinds of crazy stunts and stuff. It looks like a silly, kind of like sports game. It kind of reminded me of... if you guys remember, and I may be dating myself here, but if you guys can remember back on I think it was the PlayStation, the NFL Blitz series, where supposedly the referees were like nearsighted, and you could do anything, including running out of bounds, late hits and tackles, and it was just over the top crazy stuff. You could, practically murder the players on the field and get away with it. It kind of reminded me of that in the style that they're doing, because it's just over the top and intense, and it's a bunch of people on roller skates with a ball, and it looked like they're playing dodgeball at one point. It's just really nuts, and it looks pretty fun. And they also named released information about Gods and Monsters coming February 2020. So if you were interested in that, they just showed off a brief trailer, and all they said was, sometimes we need help from the gods. And, you know, talking about Greek gods and all that. And then they said, but when the gods need help, they call us. So that looked pretty neat. So if you're interested in anything like that, go check it out. I mean, you know, you can probably pre-order it and stuff, and because usually at E3 when they announce something, you can probably start pre-ordering it right away. So that was pretty much the E3 press conference in a nutshell. I wish that I had some of the footage that they showed, but I'm not part of the press that was invited to it, and I can't just take it off of someone else's website and stuff and use it. So that's why I do it the way I do it. I hope you guys found any of this helpful. If you did, leave me a like, leave me a comment. I'm gonna try to watch the Nintendo press conference here the next day or so, and put some content out for you guys there, and then give you my opinions overall of the E3 press conferences and the event itself. Right now, with the exception of maybe Watch Dogs 3 and Square Enix, and I'll get into this too, as much detail as I can. Square Enix did announce that they're doing an Avenger game, but again, that was leaked about a week before the event anyway. So unfortunately, that's kind of sad. It's kind of spoiled, but they did show off some gameplay footage. So I'm going to try to get all of my notes together there, look at some of the Square Enix announcements, and see if there's anything that jumps out to me there. And I'm going to watch Nintendo and try to give you guys some information. And then I'm just going to give you guys, in the next day or so, just my overall thoughts and opinions of E3 this year. Because so far, with the exception of a very few, I'm not really seeing anything that just jumps out at me and says, ooh, I have to play it. The one that I might seriously have to play and check out is Watch Dogs 3. I'm really excited about that. And I don't know, Ghost Recon might jump out at me too. Who knows? It's been a while since I played a Ghost Recon game. But just that I'd let you guys know what I saw and what kind of jumped out at me. Again, what kind of YouTuber would I be if I didn't discuss every gaming outlet and every gaming console and every gaming detail? When I tell you on this channel a lot that if it's gaming, we talk about it, so I have to do that. Hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you guys have a great afternoon, evening, whatever it is when this video finds you. And if you're new around here, subscribe, because you never know what you're going to get between news updates like this one, which we'll be doing all week long, and because of E3 and everything else going on around there. And we're going to we do gameplays, we do reviews, we do all kinds of stuff around here. And then every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we do a Twitch stream to hang out with you guys. I will announce, though, real quickly, that if you have not headed over to my Twitter account yet, you can go to my Twitter account. There is currently a poll out. I'm going to do a special stream on Friday, and there's a poll out on my Twitter account, and that is asking, what game should I play? Right now we have Yakuza Kiwami, and we have Assassin's Creed Odyssey, we have Batman Arkham... No, not Batman Arkham. Batman Telltale. There's a couple games. Go ahead and vote, and whatever you guys decide on Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that's what I'm going to play. So, anyway, there you go. You can follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/virtualnunchucks. Here on YouTube, of course, and at VNunchucks is my Twitter account. So if you want to go over there and vote, check that out. You can do that. All right. You guys have a great day. And we will see you on Friday with a live stream, and we'll see you tomorrow with some news updates about E3 as much as humanly possible. You guys have a great day, and we'll see you again real soon.